Welcome to the Construction Disruption Podcast, where we uncover the future of design, building, and remodeling.
I'm Ryan Bell of Isaiah Industries, manufacturer of specialty metal roofing and other building materials. And today my co-host is Todd Miller. Todd, how are you doing?
I am doing really well, and I'm excited about our guest today and our show today and see what we can learn. You know, that's what I always love about these is I always learn something. So it's good stuff.
I am excited too. This is a technology-focused episode. Today, our guest is Tony Nicolaidis, the Chief Commercial Officer of Origin AI, a company that invented Wi-Fi sensing technology and is revolutionizing smart homes, healthcare, and home security. Wi-Fi sensing will allow for non-invasive and highly accurate monitoring through the utilization of current IoT devices around your home or office. By monitoring occupancy in real time, Origin AI's solutions enable security, intrusion detection, HVAC control, and patient monitoring. Soon, Origin AI's Wi-Fi monitoring system will be a staple in all modern construction. Tony, it's great to have you on the show today, and thank you for joining us.
Ryan and Todd, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, to get us started, can you explain a little bit about kind of what Wi-Fi sensing technology is and how it works?
Yeah, that definition you just gave, that was pretty good, very complex. But let's make it ephemeral, and let's get right to the point of the easy explanation. Wi-Fi is ubiquitous in our lives, in our home, in our businesses. And what happens is our bodies walk through Wi-Fi. We disrupt the Wi-Fi waves. Actions that we do that are macro actions, macro doing jumping jacks, all the way to laying down and breathing, we disrupt those Wi-Fi waves. And what the Origin AI technology does is it quantifies and contextualizes that disruption. So we know what type of disruption it is that has occurred to the Wi-Fi signal, and then we can give that back in whatever use case we're talking about. So basically disrupting Wi-Fi waves and contextualizing and understanding that.
So if I'm eating a corn dog as an example, would that disrupt the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, if you're eating a corn dog and the corn dog's very good, so it's going to be an ephemeral meal, it's going to go fast. Your fingers are moving, your hands are moving, everything like that. We're going to know that you are moving. We're going to know that you're in that spot.
Cool.
So I was going to say, so I can tell my kids when they're complaining about the Wi-Fi not working that it's because they're moving.
It's funny you ask. No, because we suck up no bandwidth, zero bandwidth, and we'll talk about that I think today throughout the discussion. But we will not. We've been thoroughly tested in not doing that.
Okay, interesting. So what was it exactly that inspired the development of this Wi-Fi sensing technology, and how is it different maybe from other Wi-Fi monitoring solutions? So,
Dr. Ray Liu, who was a University of Maryland digital signal processing professor, also the IEEE president. In the global world of digital signal processing, Dr. Ray Liu's name is known globally. He was doing some work for the government through DARPA back in 2011, 2010 on how to get signals and more knowledge of what's going on in various places in a submarine. And he stumbled across Wi-Fi sensing, and he kind of put it together, invented it, patented it, and in the end left University of Maryland and knew that Wi-Fi sensing was going to have massive potential in our everyday life and changing millions of lives for the better. And he started Origin in 2011-12, and that's how the technology came about. Dr. Ray Liu is still chairman of our board. He's still our chief technology officer, very involved in the day-to-day business. So that's where we came from. Now, he let the technology bake until 2019. So about 7, 8 years to thoroughly understand it, hired all the engineering staff that needed to be hired to really develop it and shore it up, make sure the science was sound, file for the IP, all that good stuff. And then he started bringing a few of us in to start commercializing the technology. And that's where Spencer Maid, our CEO, came in. That's where I came in. So the technology was really being developed over, let's call it a 7-year period until we started commercializing. Now, how is it different? Certainly when you compare it to other kind of cousin technologies like radar. Radar is a technology that's been around a long time. A lot of great companies like VIR out there that do radar. Radar is very, very accurate and can sense a person or people, but radar is expensive. And radar has a lot of hardware you have to set up throughout a location to get a full picture, okay, of what's going on contextually in that environment. Whereas with Wi-Fi, all you need is a Wi-Fi signal and connected devices, and we'll know what's going on in that, contextualize that environment in a much, much, much lighter way than radar. Gives you an example of a comparison to another technology.
I'm not quite sure, to be honest, that I really understood what it was until you explained it like that. Can you give us some examples of maybe some real world examples of how this is being used in smart homes throughout healthcare?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've launched with Verizon in the Northeast here, Verizon Fios. You know, I live in Baltimore, Maryland here. I've got a Fios router. It's how I get my Wi-Fi to my home. Verizon has a service called Home Aware, and Home Awareness basically we have our firmware, our technology sitting on the router, right in the router.
Okay.
So when somebody signs up for Home Awareness, the router wakes up and starts pinging all the connected devices to your house. Now, in the U.S., there's an average of 17 connected devices. What's a connected device? Anything on your Wi-Fi. From I'm staring right here at a Sonos speaker, a printer, Alexa, Google Home, your TV, any kitchen appliances, a PlayStation, on and on. We have connected devices throughout the home. And it pings all those stationary devices. And from that router, Ryan and Todd, to each of those connected devices, you have this elliptical kind of zone that is connected. And when somebody enters that zone, right, we know they're there. We know there's verified human presence in that zone. So that is how Verizon is selling Home Awareness. And basically, they're starting out with who's, basically understanding not who identified who, but are there not a lot of people, nobody in your home, or many people in your home? Depending on how many zones are being disrupted all at once. So imagine this blue orb. It'll get big, big, big when there's a lot of people in it, small or nothing when there's nothing. That is how Verizon is doing it, right? And they have a whole product road to use that technology. And then from there, we have other customers. Right now, you may have not heard of a company called Verisure, Verisure. Verisure is the largest security company in Europe, number 2 to ADT globally. Very big company. We are launching with Verisure in Europe right now, and literally in the process of launching, where they have their normal security system. And what happens is they're going to have, let's say, a camera or a motion sensors tripped. As soon as that happens, we wake up, ping all the connected devices and see if there's verified human presence in the house to avoid the biggest problem in the security industry, which is false alarms, right? So those are two examples in the ISP space, in the security space, where occupancy and verified human presence is being used to make systems much, much better than they are today.
Is there a visual representation of what is present in the space? Or is it more just like a notification, like an alert type thing?
Depends. With Verizon, there's a visualization of this blue orb. If you go to your Verizon app and you go to Home Awareness, you'll see a blue orb, big or small or nothing at all, depending on what's going on in your house. In the security use case, it's all about notification. Hey, your motion sensor on the door tripped. Oh, by the way, we have that piece of data, and now we know that there's human presence in your house, right? So Wi-Fi sensing will reconfirm the door sensor tripped, and now there's somebody in the house. Before, all you knew was the door sensor tripped. You're going to get a call from them saying, "What do you want us to do?" You're like, "I don't know. I'm not home. I don't know what's going on." You don't know if it's a real alarm or not. Now we'll know if there's somebody in the house, and that's an alert-based kind of system. So it depends on the use case, Ryan.
I was wondering I think I can imagine, but how is this being used in healthcare then and patient monitoring?
So in Todd, so in healthcare, what we're doing is we have various use cases in healthcare. Let's just start with Alzheimer's and occupancy. Is the person there or not? I have many friends, unfortunately, that are caring for aging parents that now have Alzheimer's and dementia. And they've got all these cameras and all this crazy stuff all over the place. And cameras have a very limited field of view. And they're always looking to see if their parents are home. We will be able to know there's a person who's supposed to be home or they're not, right? That's one use case. The other use case is their tendencies around the house, trends over time. They're spending a lot more time in bed this month than they were last month, or they're spending a lot more time in the bathroom this month than last month. This is all data that doesn't exist today, because in the health industry, all you have are PERS or rechargeable kind of wearables that many elderly people don't charge and don't wear. Now you don't need any of that. All you need is a Wi-Fi signal, and we can kind of do trends of what's going on around the house. And then the holy grail of it all is fall detection. If somebody has fallen and they're still down there, and what to do. So that's a very complex use case, and it's one that we can demo it, but as you try to scale fall detection, there's a lot more hardware and things that need to happen that we're working through. So those are kind of some simple use cases for what we call health tech that can be used.
So for my aging mother, I'd actually have to convince her she needs internet in her house first, but I like the idea of this. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, all you need is Wi-Fi and we're there.
So how does it, is there like an initial setup process or something where it maps walls and like if there's a concrete wall or column or something, like does it take like a print of that to know the location, the space it's in?
Our engines come out so far already taught. There's no learning that needs to happen with the engines, right? So when we say the occupancy engine, as long as there's Wi-Fi, we're going to detect verified human presence. In terms of coverage, which is really what you're talking about, Ryan, we also have visualizations where you can walk around, call it try before you buy. And you can walk around your house and you can see this graph going crazy as you're walking around. You can get to spots where it's dead. And you can say, okay, in this spot, either I'm going to need an Alexa or an extender from Verizon or whatever, either a connected light bulb, whatever. And all of a sudden that spot will be live. So that's all you really need to do. Nothing else to teach it. But what we find here, Ryan, in the US is it's a bigger problem in Europe. Concrete, steel, the construction is different. In the US, primarily we're drywall and wood. So Wi-Fi permeates everywhere. We don't tend to have that problem as much in the US.
Are you able to extend it outside your home?
You can if you have connected devices outside of your home. You have to be very careful, though. If you have connected devices out there, you don't want to have false positives. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So you want to tend to keep it inside the home. We suggest you have it inside.
That makes sense. I can't tell you how many alerts I get at night for the cat on my porch from our Arlo.
Exactly. And that's the other thing with us. We have human versus non-human notification.
Okay.
Pets are a massive false alarm issue in security.
Sure.
And so we are able to distinguish human versus a big bucket called non-human, which could be pets. Rumba vacs in Europe are very popular. Oscillating fans, moving curtains with the air conditioning, all that stuff will set off alarms. We can do human versus non-human.
Very cool. So Origin AI aims to be a staple in modern construction. How do you foresee the integration of this Wi-Fi sensing technology in future building designs?
That is an excellent question, and one we feel is an absolute vector for us as we move along in the future, because it's a little more of a slow burn. For new construction, imagine if we work with the builders and we say, whether it's a home builder or a commercial building, and we say, you know what, we're going to automatically put these sensors in the walls. We'll have Wi-Fi sensors in the wall and connected sensors in the walls already designed in the building, that you no longer have to put anything else around the building. You can, if you want, to increase coverage if you want, but if you design it into as the building and the home is being built, you are ready to go. All you need to do is turn it on. right? So that's for new construction. So we need to partner with builders, which we're doing, but it's a little bit more of a slow burn. With construction that already exists, especially in the commercial space, guys, where we're really focusing on energy efficiency and turning thermostats off, air conditioning, heating. We have smart plugs. We can give you that you can plug in. Each smart plug will do 500 to 750 square feet. Plug them in. They're out of the way. You don't see them, and they will be your Wi-Fi sensing network. They will connect to all the connected devices, and they will be able to do a build, and they will be able to manage a building that is already built. So we have ways to do it with already built buildings or working with builders in the future. That's a very passionate topic for us. Me and Spencer Maid, or Spencer Maid and I, spent 30 years at Stanley Black & Decker in the DeWalt business. So that's where we both came from. That's where we know each other. So as kids, we were on job sites every day. So we have a passion for builders. So most definitely an area we want to move on in the future.
So there's a huge push for, privacy and data. Is there anything that you all are keeping in mind, or any hurdles you've had to overcome, with people that are worried about their privacy and data being respected?
I'll tell you what, and that is not an ephemeral question, because that question comes up so often. It's ephemerally long. So, I think I'm going to give it to you with two customers, Verizon, which we already launched, and Deutsche Telekom in Europe, which we're going to be launching here at the end of this year. Both with similar use cases. They're both ISPs. We were thoroughly tested by both of them. And by thoroughly, I mean almost years of testing to make sure that we did not eat up the bandwidth of their signal, which I talked about earlier. And so that led us to a place where all our computation, all of our activity in terms of running our algorithms run completely 100% on the edge, nothing in the cloud. Because in the end, as you got to take data back and forth out of the cloud is when you really soak up bandwidth. So we're 100% on the edge, completely private, does not soak up any bandwidth. And we're also, now we can do over-the-air updates and that kind of stuff quickly. So that is how we protect data privacy and make sure that our topology is hack-proof.
When my modem goes out, or my internet goes out, I should say, but my modem's still on, does this require the internet to be active and on to work, or there's still a Wi-Fi signal being sent from my modem, correct? Even though the internet from the ISP is down? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if your Wi-Fi is on in the house, no matter what's going on, connection back to your ISP, it's going to work, right? And then we're looking at other scenarios, especially it's important in the security vertical about what happens if I don't have Wi-Fi, and there's cellular options and other things. But like our partners like Verisure, I don't know if you know Alarm.com here in the US, we're literally launching Alarm.com and Verisure on either side of the pond at the same time, which is a massive undergoing or achievement for our company. They have cellular backup and they kind of take care of that. So if your Wi-Fi goes down completely, you still got cell connection.
So are there any particular challenges you've faced in bringing this to the market? Any huge hurdles that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, look, we've had some very large customers that have done significant testing. Significant testing means that it takes time to get to market. And, we're not a big company. So time to revenue for us in the past was a challenge. But as we're getting scale now, that's less of an issue. So making sure we work, because we're B2B. So that Verizon or that Verisure or that Alarm.com or that Deutsche Telekom or T-Mobile, all these companies, basically, we're really depending on them to get to market. So that's the biggest challenge, is working with them, working with all their people, their marketing folks, their engineering team and our engineering team to get our product embedded on a router is not an easy task. So that's really the biggest challenge, is execution and getting them going and getting time to value for revenue. And once we're there, which we are now and we're scaling, it's a little sweeter, so to speak.
With all the advancements in AI lately, anything kind of going on in your neck of the woods, and is that having an effect on anything, or is that giving you some other ideas on how to connect with AI or use AI?
You better believe it, especially ideas in the future. Like I said, our engines, when I say an engine right now, what I mean by that is macro motion is an engine. So it's an engine we have trained to look for gross motion, jumping jacks, running, walking. Micro motion, just breathing, laying there, is an engine. Fall detection is an engine. We train our engines so they come out already trained. You don't have to train them overall. But as we're moving into the future, all that data that comes in from a house that has home awareness or has origin in there, we will be able to take that data and do a lot of AI with it and be able to have even more context and even more future opportunity to help the people in the home or the people in the building over time. So there is no doubt AI it is, because it plays a big part as we train our engines now, right? And is going to be in the future. And just look out for us as you hear news flashes and see us in the news. You're going to hear more and more of what we're doing in AI. It's very exciting.
What does the scalability look like with this beyond healthcare and security that we've kind of talked about already? Is other sectors out there that you have plans to scale into or maybe ripe for this sort of technology?
Yeah. There's one interesting one. I don't know if you guys know what the Hot Laws Act is. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
I'm sorry, the Hot Cars Law, forgive me.
Okay.
And NPAC in Europe. Basically, there are laws that are being passed or they're already passed or in the process of being passed to have cars set up so that if a baby or a child is left strapped into the car and it's hot, there's some kind of notification that goes off. These things happen tragically, and right now there's laws being passed about that. So all the automakers are looking for ways to be able to tell if there is a baby in a car. Ironically enough, the first country that's going to really implement it, it's already said so, is China in all of their cars. So if you're shipping into China by 2026, you're going to need a solution. So we're working with the automakers and other partners in what we call CPD, Child Protection Detection, to do that. So that's another area that, because cars are going to have Wi-Fi now, right? It's another area where we're looking to see how we can make an impact there.
Very neat. That's really cool. Not something I have ever thought about before, but very cool.
Absolutely.
So what, any advice you would give to a young aspiring entrepreneur that's kind of looking to get into this Wi-Fi tech industry?
So Wi-Fi is all around us everywhere, right? Soon Elon Musk is going to put it out on the streets where you're not going to need Verizon anymore. It's just going to come beaming down from the satellites. And so, you're going to get into a technology that is very mature. If you're going to use Wi-Fi, if you want to build a business off Wi-Fi, find something unique you can do with it, because a lot of people are already doing as much as they can with it. So find a unique way to use it. How do you leverage Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, and all the advancements in Wi-Fi? We got 2.5 gig, 5 gig, 6 gig is coming. All these bands are opening up. Find and solve a problem, right? Don't be a technology looking for a solution. Be a solution to a problem. And then just hunker down. And it ain't going to be easy. Just persevere. Keep your head down and keep working, and you'll get there.
Concrete advice. Thank you. Well, thanks so much, Tony. This has been great. And we're thankful for the time we've had with you today and everything you've shared with us and our listeners. We're close to wrapping up what we call the business end of things. Is there anything that we haven't covered today that you'd like to share with our audience? No.
And once again, I appreciate the time. It was ephemeral, and I wish we could have had more time together, but thanks, guys.
Great. Well, before we close out, there's something we like to do at the end here. It's called Rapid Fire, where we give you 7 questions, and your only commitment is to give us a quick response to each question. Some of them are a little silly. Some are maybe serious. Are you up for the challenge?
Let's go. I'm there. Let's go.
All righty. Todd and I will take turns asking questions. You want to lead us off, Todd?
Absolutely. So, Tony, would you rather fight a swarm of angry bees with a giant fly swatter, or have to herd stampeding cats armed with laser pointers? Or would you rather fight those stampeding cats with laser pointers?
Fight the stampeding cats with laser pointers. I hate bees.
Yeah, I think I'd be right there with you.
That's a pretty easy one. Me
You
too.
need them in the environment, but I don't want swarms of them coming at me.
Probably the likelihood of either one is slim. But
Question number 2. If you could replace all the grass in the world with something else, what would it be and why?
Wow. All the grass in the world, what would it be and why? Mattresses. Make it nice and soft. You can go out there and take a nap.
I like that. I was thinking it might be something that Wi-Fi would detect. I don't know.
Go out there and walk out to your front yard, lay down, and go take a nap.
Like it. Okay, question number 3. What's one book or movie that has profoundly impacted your perspective on life, and why?
The road less traveled, personally, because life is hard, and you just got to be ready for it. And you gotta be focused and work hard. Professionally, Crossing the Chasm by Gregory Moore.
I don't think I've come across that. Interesting.
If
Okay.
you're in a startup, read that book and read it twice.
I'll have to look that up.
Crossing the Chasm. Good deal.
Question number 4. What motivates you to keep pushing forward even when faced with obstacles or setbacks?
The startup life is not for everyone. I'll tell you that right now. Getting a business off the ground, and having that big milestone of becoming a small business and crossing that revenue mark is not for the faint of heart. You have to have very clear belief and passion in what you're doing and have the end game in mind. We feel strongly and we live and breathe that Wi-Fi sensing will change millions of lives in a positive way all over the world. And you have to believe that. And we believe it every day. And that keeps us going through even though you get down into the valley or the muck, you just got to keep pushing through.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, next question. If you had to pick one celebrity to be your personal assistant for a week, who would you choose and what task would you ask them to do?
I would choose Elon Musk.
There you go.
No, check that. I would choose Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
And I'd have him come in and, we beat up our go-to-market motion and go-to-market strategy a lot. We feel very good about it as a scaling, but I'd want him to beat it up even further. Like, how do you scale even more? And say, Jeff, sit down and tell us.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Very good answer.
Absolutely.
Man, you're good at this.
Mike,
Almost like
another one. Let's go.
We have 2 left. Would you rather have to sing everything you say or communicate only through interpretive dance for a week?
Well, I'm a musician, so I play guitar. So I've been in bands all my life, so I'm going to sing. Interpretive dance.
Interpretive dance would be challenging. Yeah, I'd rather sing it. Doesn't mean you have to sing it well.
I'm singing.
Okay, the last question. Have you recently purchased a product or service that was a real game changer for you? Sort of a, where have you been all my life moment?
I would have to say it's not recently, but Good Notes and being able to take notes on my iPad. That's not a new thing, but I was always a paper guy. And I'd say in the last few years, I've completely made the transition. So now I don't have gobs and gobs of paper everywhere. I got my iPad and everything is in there. Everything, every meeting I've been in, all the notes, this, that. And I would say that made me significantly more efficient in terms of just tracking what's going on. Not a new thing, but it definitely helped me here in the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
That's something I'm trying to get better at. Yeah, like I use the Good Notes app, or I think it's Good Notes, and I love it when I'm watching something or taking notes on something, and I can save screenshots, but I always forget to go back to it.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
That's the other thing is screenshots. I can bring in thoughts from somewhere on the side, and I can still write with it. I think that makes things so efficient. And man, we were plugging the hell out of Good Notes, but it is what it is.
It's a good app.
It is.
Well, Tony, thank you again for your time today. This has been a lot of fun. For anyone that wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that? originwirelessai.com. Just visit our website. And I'm a Tony.Nicolaidis at originwirelessai.com. Reach out to me anytime. Awesome. And we will make sure to get that in the show notes.
Excellent.
Before we close out here, we need to recap our challenge words, which we were all successful in working into the... Tony, you were an overachiever. I lost count of how many times you got yours in there, but your word was...
Ephemeral.
Ephemeral.
Did a
At
great
least
job.
six times, maybe 5 or 6 times.
Oh, man.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah. Todd, your word was...
Corn dog, and I got to use it once.
Right at the beginning there. And my word was concrete.
Very good.
Good job, guys.
I say Tony even used your word once.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew it or not, but yeah, you did.
I didn't notice it. All right, very good.
I thought you were just overachieving your overachievement already.
You guys gave me a task, an objective, and I went for it.
Well done. Well done. Well, thanks again, Tony. Appreciate your time here with us.
Thanks, guys. Loved it.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Construction Disruption with Tony Nicolaidis of Origin AI. Please watch for future episodes of our podcast. We are always blessed with great guests. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcast or give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Till the next time we're together, keep on disrupting and challenging those in your world to better ways of doing things. And don't forget to have a positive impact on everyone you encounter. Make them smile and encourage them. 2 simple yet powerful things we can all do to change the world. God bless and take care. This is Isaiah Industries signing off until the next episode of Construction Disruption.
This podcast is produced by Isaiah Industries, manufacturer of specialty metal roofing and other building products.